Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to YogaCandi. So today we have a really quick 20-minute live yoga for people that are at work today. It's going to be great for your lunch break, so I'm not going to talk too much before we begin because I know you probably want to get on and eat your lunch and do what you got to do. So we're going to focus on stretching out our hamstrings and our hip flexors as well, just to make sure that we get everything moving and all the blood's flowing. Can you just give me a thumbs up or leave me a little comment to let me know that you can hear me? Because I like to make sure that my mic is actually working for you guys. So let me just double check, make sure everything's okay. It seems to be working, so I think we're okay and I think we're good to go. So guys, just look me up on YogaCandi.com. On there you'll find me on Facebook, you'll find my Instagram, and also sign up to my website because then you can get emails all about yoga, about all my up and coming live videos and any videos that I'll be posting throughout the week as well. So just to keep you posted on everything that's going on, then you don't miss out. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to press the little bell, and then that way every time I'm live YouTube will send you a little notification to say that I'm here. Okay. So I'm going to head over to the mat and let's begin. So guys, I'm in a new place today. I think you might have noticed. We haven't got any curtains yet or anything like that. So I'm sorry about it being a bit backlit. I'm going to do my best and I hope you can see me. So come to the top of your mat or just stand if it's just on the floor, wherever. Stand with your hands out by your side, suck in your belly. And let's inhale, raise our hands up. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Go as low as you can. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. And let's just bend and straighten through each leg, feeling through the hamstrings. Getting it all moving after sitting at a desk, if that's the type of work that you do. And then drop your head. Everything must hang nice and heavy here. Inhale your hands up to the sky. Bring your palms to touch, draw them to your heart center. Let's do this 3 times. Inhale, hands up to the sky, bend forward at your hips. Try to keep your legs as straight as possible, but if you need to bend both of your knees, just do so. Fold forward. Inhale, raise your hands. Exhale, fold forward at the hips. Walk through your legs if you want to walk through the legs. You don't have to do this. You can just become still and allow everything to hang if you want to. Grab onto your elbows and just allow it to be heavy, given to gravity. And remember to breathe, guys. Breathe in deeply in and out of the nostrils. Suck in the belly. Now inhale, raise your hands up to the sky and bring them to your heart center. Now let's take the left leg, step it back, becoming into a high lunge. So make sure that your front knee is at a 90-degree angle to the ground. Engage through the back leg. Inhale, raise your hands up to the sky. Hold this and feel that stretch down the front of the left thigh here. Remember to breathe and don't worry if you fall out of it, which I'm about to do. I'm actually not used to doing yoga on a carpet anymore. And now let's take our hands down to the ground. Frame that front foot and let's step back into plank. Give your plank a little rock here. Engage your core, sucking in the core, sucking the belly in. And slowly let's lower ourselves down towards the mat. If you need to drop your knees, drop your knees. Inhale, take a back bend here, look up. Open through the shoulders. And exhale, come back down. Send your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Walk your dog out if you need to. Now suck in the core. Make sure that your hands are around shoulder distance apart. Your feet should be around hip distance apart with your knees slightly going inwards. Try to get your armpits to look at each other. Send your tailbone up towards the sky. And let's take a few deep breaths here. If possible, lift your right leg into the air as high as you can. Don't worry if you can't go as high as I'm doing. Open up through the hip by sending that leg behind you, but try not to twist your shoulders. Keep your shoulders squared with the front of the mat. Keep your left leg engaged and strong. Exhale, bring that knee to your chest and hold it here in plank just for a second. And then place it between your palms. Don't worry if you couldn't get it all the way between your palms. Just walk it forward a little bit. Coming back into high lunge on the same leg. Inhale your hands to the sky and let's open up into Warrior Two. Make sure that your front leg is still a 90-degree angle. Your back leg is parallel with the bottom of the mat or around a 40-degree angle. Oh, my top's doing all sorts of crazy things because of this mic. Open your arms up and look at your right fingertips, sorry. Now straighten through the right leg. Lean forward. And for those of you that are not flexible enough, you can hold on to your office chair or something here and just stay here. If you can go all the way down to the ground, then do so. And place your right hand on the outside of this right foot. Inhale your left hand up towards the sky. Keep your hips nice and open towards the front. Look up to your left palm if you have the balance. And if it's comfortable on your neck. If it's not, look down towards your foot. Or even just look over to the side, wherever it feels best for your neck. This is a great hamstring stretch, and you should feel it on the inner groin a little bit as well. Remember, you don't need to be this low. You can be up on your office chair. Just doing a little bit of a half triangle would be absolutely fine. Now inhale, take that left hand down to the ground, frame the foot, and we're going to drop the left knee down to the ground. Now come up onto your leg. The further back that the left knee is, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So you can bring that closer to the front foot, or take it as far behind you as possible. Get deep into the front of the psoas muscle. You can stay here with your hand on your knee, or you can inhale your hands up to the sky, if that feels better. Now, if you want to go even deeper into the stretch, then take your right hand down to the ground on the right side of the mat. Take your left hand up and over your ear, stretch, send your hips forward. Allow gravity to do the work here. Don't forget to breathe. And here you should feel quite a stretch through the side of the left body. Now let's take our hands back to our knee. And let's walk our right foot a little further over towards the right side of the mat. If you don't have a mat, just make sure that it's a bit wider than hip distance apart. Place your left hand onto the ground. Using your right hand, allow your right leg to fall over to the side. You're going to kind of push very gently with your left hand on that right knee. I'll face you a little bit more so you know what I'm doing. So you're still in your lunge, but you're kind of pushing your knee a little bit away from you. And this will stretch even further on the inside of the hip flexor here. So be there. If this is too much and you're a complete beginner and you're not very flexible, instead, just stay up on your knee and stay here. Keep feeling through that psoas muscle. If you are stretching through that knee a little more and you're pushing it aside, then maybe look up towards the right side. Look up towards the sky a little bit, or towards the right side of the wall. You should feel quite a deep stretch in your psoas muscle here, as well as in that hip flexor on the right side. Now inhale, bring that knee back in place. We're going to stretch through our hamstrings, so send your hips back and square off your hips. So again, if you're a beginner, stay up, hold onto your office chair, pretend I've got one, or come all the way down to the ground and frame that right foot. Try to send your tailbone up towards the sky, so slightly arching through the back. And by squaring off the hips, what you want to do is send your left hip ever so slightly forward and send the right hip ever so slightly backwards. Remember to breathe here. If you have the flexibility, you can start to go a little lower down towards this right leg. Start to send your body down towards it, but just the most important thing here is to keep your back as straight as possible and to make sure that you're sending your tailbone up towards the sky. Also make sure that you're engaging that right foot so that it's facing up towards the ceiling. And now let's rock it forward. Coming into our low lunge, frame the foot, and we're going to step forward. Take a forward fold here. Allow everything to hang heavy, bend your knees if you need to, feel free to hang on even allow your belly to rest onto the top of the thighs, that's absolutely fine if you need to do that. Now inhale your hands up to the sky, and we're going to send our right leg backwards this time. So the same thing all on the other side. So come into standing. Get yourself nice and situated. Lift your right leg, up into the sky and send it behind you as slowly as you can. We're going to come down into our high lunge. Keep your hips square towards the front of the mat. Sink down so that you're at a 90-degree angle with the front leg. Inhale your hands up to the sky. Look up if you can. If not, look straight ahead. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Now let's come down and frame that left foot. Stay here just for a second, and then we're going to come back into our plank. Rock your plank back and forth a little bit. If you need to, drop your knees. And now let's lower ourselves all the way down to our bellies, as slowly as you can, don't worry if you fall. Inhale, take your back bend. Exhale, let's send our hips up and back into our downward facing dog. Walk your legs out if you need to. Send your tailbone up towards the sky. Remember to suck the belly in and take long, deep breaths through the nostrils. Now inhale, lift that left leg if you can. If you can't lift your leg, that's absolutely fine. And just stay in downward facing dog and keep breathing, or even take a child's pose. Now open up through that hip by twisting the hips, sending that left foot over to the right side of the mat. Try to keep your shoulders squared off so you're only twisting from the lower spine. You should feel a bit of a stretch in that just behind the right inner groin, opening up through that hip flexor. Now exhale, come forward to your plank, hold it in, suck in the belly, and let's step that foot forward. Feel free to maneuver yourself so that you're in the right position. And inhale, come up into your high lunge once again. Lift your hands up to the sky. Take a deep breath and let's open our hips out into warrior two. Now make sure that this front knee is at a 90-degree angle. That back knee is at around a 45-degree angle to the back of the mat. Open up, look at your left fingertips. Now straighten through the left leg. We're going to come down into our triangle. I'm going to face you, so I haven't got my back to you. So straightening through the left leg. Open through the arms. Lean forward. If you need to, just place your hand on your office chair or whatever you've got handy. Or come all the way down to the ground, just behind that left foot. Take your right hand up towards the sky. Look up towards the sky if this is comfortable for your neck. Look down or even just straight ahead, wherever feels more comfortable. Remember to suck in your belly, guys, and keep breathing. Open up through the hips. Don't allow your hips to square off to the front of the mat. Take one more deep breath. Now inhale. Let's come back into warrior two. Up into our high lunge by lifting that back foot off of the ground. Take your hands up to the sky. Breathe in, look up. And let's drop that knee down to the ground. So we're taking our right knee down to the ground this time. And you can place your hands on your knees, your front knee or your left one, and you can just stay here. Feel free to be here. And the closer that you've got this back leg to the front foot, the easier the stretch is going to be. So I'm going to face the other side so that you can see when I open up through my hip. So remember to be where you are. This is absolutely fine if this is you today. You can even take your hands up to the sky, look at your fingertips, or look straight ahead. If you want a bit more of a challenge, take that left hand down to the mat on the left side of the body. Allow your right hand to come up and over the ear, stretching through the right side of the body this time. Send your hips forward and allow gravity to do its work here. Inhale, take your hands back to the center, and now we're going to open up through the hip flexor. Now remember, you can just stay here, that's fine, or take your right hand down to the mat on the inside of the left leg. Now walk your left leg a little further away from the body so it's wider than hip distance away from you. Allow that knee to fall over to the left side so that you're allowing the weight to kind of be on the knife edge of that left foot there. Gently push that knee open a little more if you'd like to with your left hand. So you're getting a little deeper into the hip flexors here. Allow everything to hang heavy, to sink deep. Look up to the left side. Now inhale, let's send everything back to the center. Start to walk your left foot back to the center, back to hip distance apart. Frame your foot and let's send our hips back for another deep hamstring stretch here. This is called half splits. So it's actually really good preparation for learning how to do the splits, this one. Do it as much as you can every day. Whenever you feel you're really tight in your hamstrings, this is a great one. Just remember to do both sides. And square off your hips to the front of the mat by bringing this right hip ever so slightly forward, the left hip ever so slightly backwards. Send your tailbone up towards the sky. Try to keep your back as straight as possible. Try not to arch over your leg thinking that you're going deeper, because actually the straighter everything is, the deeper you're going to be. So it doesn't really matter how close you are to the leg at this point. You can even be up on your office chair here for stability, and if you can't get any lower, or you can use some blocks. I've got some blocks there, you can have them either side and just hold on to those. But if you can frame the foot and you can keep everything nice and straight, then that's perfect. Just keep that, hold that. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to take one more deep breath here, and then we're going to do a couple of stretches to finish everything off for you, so that you can go on and enjoy your lunch and enjoy the rest of your day. So inhale, rock your hips forward, frame that leg, come back up. We're going to lift up into high lunge. Oh no, sorry, we're not. We're going to step forward, take a forward fold once again, but this time interlace your hands behind your back and allow your hands to hang over your head. Allow everything to be heavy. This is a great shoulder stretch. To make it more intense, the closer your palms are together while your fingers are interlaced, the more intense the stretch is going to be. And if you want to go even deeper with the stretch, you can actually bend your elbows and face your palms away from the body. That gets even deeper into the shoulders if you need it. But otherwise, be where you are. Suck in the belly. Inhale, halfway lift, look up, straighten the legs, straighten the back. Place your hands on the ground, and we're going to come down into a seat now. We're going to do a couple more hip openers, because sitting at a desk all day is one of those things that really does tighten up our hips. Any type of unnatural seated position, because if you think about it, in nature we wouldn't be seated on chairs at a desk, so it's not a natural posture for us. So what I'd like you to do, if you're very, very inflexible with your hip flexors, then take this against a wall. Go and sit against a wall so that your back's nice and straight. Allow your knees to fall apart. If they're up here, that's absolutely fine, then that's where you are, and just be there. Sit forward into it a little bit so that you feel more of a stretch, but allow your knees to fall apart from each other, as close to the ground as possible. Now, the more forward that you lean, the more you're going to feel the stretch in your hip flexors. You can even use your hands to push your knees a little closer towards the ground if this is feeling good for you. But just do what feels good. I don't want you guys to hurt yourselves so that you spend the rest of the afternoon thinking, well, I don't know if that made me feel very good. So be where you are. But if you can, start to lean forward even more. You can even take a cushion or a pillow or something if you have something like that in the office, and lean your palms and rest them on that. Or you can come all the way down to the ground. Just listen to your body and don't push it too far. Keep breathing into the hips here. Now in this position, you can allow your head to hang forward, and it doesn't matter if your back starts to bend. If you're arching forward, that's absolutely fine. So if that feels good, then allow that to happen and just let gravity do its work here. Don't worry too much about sucking in your belly or anything like that. Just allow everything to be nice and loose and give in to the body, give in to gravity. Going to take a couple more breaths, deep breaths here. Great, inhale, come back up. Slowly walk your hands towards your body, and if you want to, you can use your hands to bring your knees to touch each other. Now place your hands either side of the body and just allow windscreen wiper your legs from one side to the other. And let's do another hamstring stretch, and then we're going to do a little back bend, and we're going to finish it there. So I hope this is going to make you guys feel a little bit better after sitting at a desk today. So come back to the middle of your mat. If you've got any blocks or anything like that and you need them, feel free to have them handy. Send your legs out straight in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Engage your legs, keep them as straight as possible. If you can grab onto your feet, of course, go all the way down and get straight into the position. If you can't, then just come to your shins, be where you are. And if you need to put a micro bend in your knees and that's where you are, be there. But otherwise, come as low as you can, hold on to your shins. Behind your feet if you can get there. Suck in the belly in this position. Don't put any pressure into the shoulders, allow them to hang heavy. Allow your neck to hang heavy. And you can allow your head to just drop to your shins if that's where you are. If not, sit up nice and tall and just make sure that you feel a comfortable stretch in the back of the hamstrings. Now look up and just point through the toes. Wherever you are, point them and then flex them. Point them and then flex them. And keep doing this. Do this 3 more times. Point and flex. 1 more time, point and flex. And just give it one last squeeze down. And now let's come up. So what I want you to do is take your hands behind your bum, about shoulder distance apart, and we're going to lift our hips up. Lift them as high as you possibly can. Allow your head to fall backwards, and this should give you a nice opening through the chest, through the shoulders. And then drop your hips down. Now place your elbows on the ground with your hands close to your bum, but not either side of your bum, still behind you. Now open up through the chest, bend through the back, and just stay here if this is enough. Or drop your head backwards. Inhale, come up. So that was called fish pose, guys. That's quite a nice back bend. It can be tough for some people, so don't ever feel like you have to send your head backwards. So lastly, let's just do a little neck stretch and then we're done. So let's drop our head over to the left side of the shoulder. Breathe here. And then just roll your head all the way to the right side of the shoulder. Allow it to hang heavy there. And back over to the left. Let it hang heavy. Send it over to the right. Slowly move the neck over to the right. Let it hang there. Come back up to the center, give your shoulders a little roll back behind you. You can take your right arm across the body and give that a stretch. Look over to the right side. And then let's take it over to the left. Sorry, I think I might be covering my mic there, so I'll be quiet for a second. So take the left arm over across the body. and then release. Right guys, give it a little shake out. I hope you've really enjoyed this today, and I hope it's going to help you for your afternoon, make you feel a little bit more relaxed. I'm going to come a bit forward. We'll definitely be doing another one of these next week, so keep posted. Remember to subscribe and click the bell, and then I can let you guys know what's going to be happening, and you can be notified about when it's going to be. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. Lots of love from Candice at YogaCandi.com. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend as well, guys. And until next time, namaste.